So we are Tim and Jason. We are the owners of Big Hammock Brewery and Bites. I don't know if anybody's heard of us. Raise their hands, maybe? Yay, it's working. Nice. We are starting a brew pub downtown. We'll be the Ocala, downtown Ocala's first brew pub. We're located at the corner of Fort King and First Avenue. So I don't know if everybody knows where that is. It's where the Lunchbox used to be. A little history behind how this all happened. It was sort of by happenstance, I guess. My wife and I, we own Brooklyn's Backyard. I hope everybody raised their hand when I say this. You know Brooklyn's. A couple years ago, we had somebody from downtown. You know, we saw what was going on. We see the transformation of downtown, and we said, man, we want to be a part of that. We really want to be downtown. It's a cool place. It's going to be happening. My wife and I travel a lot, and we noticed we're in other cities that they were growing, and we've seen these breweries, and we see these, you know, these little restaurants popping up, these mom and pops. So we see that that's what's happening downtown. So we said we want to be a part of that. And that was about 2 years ago. So somebody called us up and said, hey, you know, we hear you guys might be interested. I said, sure. They said, well, let me take you around town and let me show you what's going on. So they showed us what's going on, and at that time the Ivy House was not there. It was wide open space. So they said, let's go in and see if you're interested in this. So we walked in there, we looked around, it was just raw wood and everywhere. And said, it's just too big. It's just a big place. I mean, we have to, you know, put a lot of seats, people in the seats, and at our business model that I thought of, that we wanted to be in that price range where it's affordable for everybody. It's not a $25 night out. It's more of a $15 or $20 night out. You come down and have a beer and have something to eat, and you don't break the bank. And there's plenty of really great places downtown, and you know, they're on the higher end. And we thought, well, Ivy House wasn't a good fit for us. So then a month or two later goes by, and then Starbucks moves out, and they said, you want to go look at that? And I said, sure, we'll go look at that. So we went over and we looked at that place. We thought, this is perfect. It's perfect. Seats about 70. We don't want to go over 70, 80 seats. At Brooklyn's, we have 95 seats, and it works perfect. So we looked at it, and we looked at the rent. We thought, man, the rent versus the amount of seats and our price point wasn't going to match. It was too high end. We needed to be in the $25 range to make any money for the price of the space. So we said, no, we're out of that one. So we took a break. And my wife always thought I was crazy for doing this, but you know, it is what it is. And she thought it was crazy to open up Brooklyn's. So we took a break, and we got a phone call about, I guess it was October of 2018. And we got a phone call. It's Mark DeBolt, and he goes, hey, Tim, and I didn't know Mark real well, but I knew of him. And he goes, you know, I owned the old Lunchbox, and he goes, how about somebody in this room gave him my number, Joe Reichel, and he got me into this mess. Now I got to dig myself out. But anyway, Joe gave him my number and said, Tim might be interested. So he called us up, and I said, man, I don't know. I got a good life right now. My restaurant's running good. I said, you know, all right, I'll take a look at it. He goes, well, you know, we're doing some facade grant money out there. We're working with the city, and they gave us some money, and we're doing a whole new facade. And he goes, we're putting a roll-up door in. And I went, roll-up door? Roll-up door. So I said, we'll go take a look at it. How's that? My wife and I jumped in the car. We lived way out of town. 5 minutes later, we're in town looking at it, and we looked around. I'm like, man, this is perfect. It's a grease pit. I mean, it was a grease pit. There was this much grease on the. I said, man, what am I going to do with this place? Perfect. So, you know, seen a little vision there, and that roll-up door that just kept speaking, and it just kept coming to me that, you know, this is what other cities, Asheville, St. Pete, all these beautiful cities with these breweries and these outdoor patios. And I said, man, this is perfect, a little outdoor seating. And then somebody told me, they said, you know, there's grant money. I said, whew, that's even more appealing to me, that I can get some grant money to help me work this out. So I thought brewery, and then I thought, this guy right here, he's been, president of the Brew Club for a long time in Ocala. And we've always talked, we've traveled together. Our wives are great friends, we're all great friends. And his passion was to brew beer. So I called him up, I said, you interested in something like this? He goes, sure, let me think about it, let me talk to Emily. So he calls me back a couple days later, and he goes, I think I'm in. He said, I mean, he's been with the same company for 20 years. It's kind of hard for him to leave, but his passion is beer. And my passion is food, so pretty good mix. So we made the commitment. So where we're at right now is we are in construction. I just took that picture. Oh, no, that's an older picture. That was probably about a month ago. We're about a month and a half away from being open. We've been at it since October. We're sort of doing it on a shoestring. We have a contractor there, and he's working with us. He's a good friend of mine. And we've got the plumber and the electricians and all that stuff. But Jason and I are in there every day, 8, 9 hours a day, putting up drywall. And I was drywalling yesterday. Then I was putting up wood. And that right there was probably in the last couple of days. That was probably 2 to 3 days ago. So we added an arch. We've done some things. You can see the roll-up door back in the back there. Yes, sir. And so we should be open. We will have food. And we should be open at the end of April. God willing, creeks don't rise, and we get everything under construction that we can. Construction's tough, you know how it is. If you guys have done it before, nothing ever comes in on time. So, but if you have any questions, Jason can answer any questions about the brewing side. I can answer any questions about the food side. Thank you.